Huge spoiler warning. Like the title implies, this video is about superhero happening early, and there will be heavy spoilers for the story. But I know what you're here for, and I'm not going to keep you waiting. Today, we're going to be discussing what would happen if Dragon Ball Super Hero happened early. God, that title is so clunky to say. Anyways, let's get into it. So in terms of the movie itself, it's going to happen pretty much the same. We'll place it right after the Goku Black arc. Let's say we're at a point where Vegeta is still on Beerus' planet with Goku instead of coming back to Earth already. So really the only difference there is that it's them and Broly isn't there with them. Also, since Pan isn't training, she's obviously going to be less involved in the story. And instead we'll say the Red Ribbon Army goes after Videl and Pan together, or at least tries to. Videl's definitely strong enough to hold her own, and kinda like Pan did with Piccolo, this time Videl's going to go along with Piccolo for a plan to get Gohan to train more. Pan is left safely with Chi-Chi, while Videl actually plays along here, not being in any real danger. And on Earth, there's not too much to change either. The biggest changes are Gohan hasn't awakened Ultimate yet again, and Goten and Trunks, they're smaller. That's really the only changes with the main cast. So really, we could say that the movie happens pretty much the exact same way it already did. Maybe Cell Max is a little bit weaker than normal to make the fight more fair, but we could use this battle as a way for Gohan to unlock Ultimate again, and also the new beast form that he has. Otherwise, the movie remains pretty much exactly the same. Gamma 1 and 2 are created, Cell Max is created, Gamma 2 ends up sacrificing his life, and the movie goes relatively normal. That's one of the reasons I wanted to try this scenario, because it's not too hard to fit it earlier on in the story with only some slight adjustments. The biggest change here is that Gohan would probably have a harder time fighting everybody. He still does have access to Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, but he doesn't have Ultimate reawakened yet. But once he awakens that again, it's okay. And yes, this also means Piccolo gets his new forms too, and Gamma 1 ends up surviving. And that's going to have some consequences later on. Bra is about to be born, so Vegeta does come back to Earth at some point, and he learns of everything that happened here. Goku and Vegeta did sense everything that was going on, and they were really curious to figure out what happened. Also curious to find out more about today's sponsor, Bloodline Heroes Alithas. It's a card-based fantasy game that's right on your phone, with great graphics, fun gameplay, and pretty much endless possibilities. It takes place in a great fantasy world where you can decide the story. You decide what path to go down. With unique gacha gameplay, create and customize powerful champions, and create even stronger bloodlines, letting that strength influence your heirs and your kingdom. There's a huge selection of heroes for you. One of the great clans you could play as is the clan of Karg, which you get free by joining. Or you could try out the Lycanus, a lineage of werewolves. There's also some pretty powerful companions to go alongside your champions too. See what you can create by combining two powerful bloodlines together. On top of building your champions, you're going to be building your own kingdom and economy here, and developing a family tree until your champions get the best traits from their parents. And speaking of that, you'll actually get a half Dragonborn, half Demigod heir for free. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to try out the game now. And by using my gift code in the description, you'll get rewards worth $20, including 20 intimacy packs, 100,000 gold, and 100 diamonds. A pretty good deal for a pretty good game. Thanks to Bloodline Heroes Alithas for sponsoring this video. Oh yeah, but Vegeta was also curious about those powers he sensed. They sensed Cell Max's power as well as Gohan and Piccolo's power surging far beyond where it was before. Even Goten and Trunks were involved in the fight. Everything's explained to Vegeta, and he's amazed. Wait, so Gohan's back to fighting? And Piccolo jumps in. This was the perfect motivation for him. Now, Gohan's back to his old self, and way better than before. With this new power, who knows how far he can go. And Vegeta sees that Piccolo apparently has a new power as well. Well, even though he's on Earth, that doesn't mean he can't train. He does need something to occupy himself in the meantime, so Vegeta decides to fight them. But he also learns of Gamma 1. He actually hears of him through Bulma because he's at Capsule Corp basically as a bodyguard there. Gamma 1 is pretty powerful and Vegeta's amazed. Not anything he can't handle, but still, surprisingly strong for a brand new android. But what shocks him even more is Piccolo and Gohan's strength. The two of them are unrecognizable. Gohan actually might even be above him at this point. He always knew Gohan had such amazing potential, but this? Above Super Saiyan Blue even? What is this power? It's not even a Super Saiyan form. Eventually Goku even returns to Earth due to the Tournament of Power, and he needs to recruit the team. He's been kind of left in the dark about what's been happening here. He gets filled in and he's actually pretty amazed to hear it. That actually makes things a lot easier for him too. In terms of who he recruits, the events of Super Hero would change who's on the team. Instead of Tenshinhan and Roshi, Goten and Trunks might join because that battle actually had them in a serious fight for once. Even if they weren't too crucial in Cell Max's defeat, they did get a lot more serious and it shows that they've grown. He's still a bit worried about how they'll perform, but he thinks they'll be fine. And instead of Frieza, they recruit Gamma 1. But Goku's more interested in Gohan's power. He decides to spar with Gohan, seeing that same power that Vegeta saw. And ever since Vegeta came back to Earth, Gohan has continued training. Actually even training with Vegeta. Of course, Piccolo was involved too. The three of them are surprisingly at similar levels. Goku can't believe he missed all of this, and seeing Gohan's power, he's proud. He's glad to see Gohan's back to fighting, and the strength of his. Since he's kept up his training, he might even be above Goku at this point. Even with Blue Kaioken, Gohan's still able to beat him. The trainings not only help him grow stronger, but better as a fighter in general in terms of technique, and this makes Goku confident. This tournament, it'll be pretty easy. And on top of that, it's pretty funny for Gamma 1 because he gets to meet Android 17. He already met 18, but now this is the first time he's meeting him. 17's pretty amused by this. Another android. He thought the Red Ribbon Army was done with, but it seems not. Thankfully, that Cell Max thing didn't mess with his island. And now with all that set up, we can go to the tournament itself. So in this tournament, I'm going to be focusing more on Gamma 1, Piccolo, and Gohan because they were the ones that had the biggest changes. Of course, Goten and Trunks are there too. And while I could put some more focus on Vegeta and Goku, not too much has changed with them except for Vegeta, who might be a little stronger due to some training on Earth, but he wasn't taking it that seriously leading up to Bra's birth. These are the three I want to focus on because these are the three that changed the most. So one important thing to note here is that Gamma 1 doesn't have infinite energy like the other androids. It does work against him, but he's very powerful even without it. Maybe he's even been upgraded since Super Hero, not only making him stronger, but maybe Dr. Hito would actually want to include an infinite energy engine once he sees it in the other two androids. It wouldn't be too hard to make prior to the tournament too. And now Gamma 1 gets to test these new upgrades. One of the really fun fights at first is Gamma 1 and Gohan versus the Pride Troopers. They all actually kinda get along. Even though everyone's fighting for the survival of their universe, they all have a sense of justice. If only Gohan had his great Saiyan outfit, but it's whatever. He and Gamma 1 strike a pose together as they defeat all of the Pride Troopers. Well, the ones besides Toppo, Dispo, and Jiren, of course. But there's a mutual sense of respect. And at this point, Gamma 1 and Gohan even split up. Gamma 1 actually fights Universe 3 alongside the other two androids. It's weird because Universe 3 is all robots. And I mean, Gamma 1 kinda is, technically. While 17 and 18 are cyborgs. They're different kinds of androids. And it's a fun test for the three of them to see which androids are superior. Of course, Universe 7's are. And without much struggle, they wipe out much of Universe 3. Gamma 1 is much more serious than his brother was, but still, he is having fun here, especially fighting alongside the androids and another superhero like Gohan. He hopes that once they're back on Earth, he'll fight with the two Saiyamen more. Another big point here is that Gohan and Piccolo are going to stay in the tournament much longer. Piccolo goes giant at one point, using a lot of his power to try and eliminate as many people as he can. It does make him a big target, but when he goes into Orange Piccolo and then becomes giant at the same time, well, it works pretty well. He becomes a really big target, and whenever people try to attack him, Gohan can then jump in and protect him. And he's only using Ultimate at this point, he's not even using his Beast form. Of course, during the tournament, there have been other battles going on. Goku did fight Jiren and unlocked Ultra Instinct Omen, and he even fought Kefla at one point. Vegeta and Gohan fight Toppo together, with Vegeta showing off Blue Evolution in front of Gohan. Although without Frieza, Toppo's not going to go into his God of Destruction mode, and the two of them together are actually more than enough to defeat Toppo. Gohan doesn't even use his full power. Soon enough, it comes down to Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gamma 1, and 17 still left in the ring. The rest of the team has been eliminated, and all that's left is Jiren versus them. They have strength in numbers, and the six of them have to formulate a plan. Jiren has to show off his full strength against them, and it is a little too much to handle. And even though Jiren is powerful, they're not going to back down, especially Gamma 1. He remembers his brother's sacrifice against Cell Max, and here, Gamma 1's going to be just as heroic. He charges up to his full power, and if it comes down to it, he's prepared to sacrifice himself to defeat Jiren. As Goku and Vegeta try to recuperate, Gamma 1, Piccolo, and Gohan stand together, with Gohan fully powering up, showing off his beast form. They all launch in towards Jiren, holding him off and actually doing pretty well. And Goku's pretty worn out, but he's watching, and Vegeta does something unexpected. He takes all of his remaining energy, giving it to Goku, and he still has a lot left because he didn't need to face Jiren alone and get all beat up. Goku's reinvigorated. He stands up, and something within him awakens. In order to protect his friends and family in front of him, as well as ensure Universe 7's survival, he goes into Ultra Instinct, this time with the white hair, the complete form. He launches into the battle, and it's surprising to everybody. It's also kind of weird watching Goku and Gohan fight together looking pretty similar, both with white hair, except two completely different forms. Gohan looks over at Goku and smirks, amazed to see this power. With Goku there completely emotionless and tranquil in Ultra Instinct, Piccolo and Gamma 1 step aside, with 17 trying to provide support with shields, helping to block some of Jiren's attacks. The father-son duo fights together, and with their immense strength, they're able to knock Jiren out of the ring, winning for Universe 7. And with Gohan still being the team leader here, I feel like he might even get MVP, because he is still left in the ring after all, and he did help out a lot. He would definitely make the right wish, wishing for all the universes to be restored. Following the tournament, we arrive back on Earth. The Broly movie probably wouldn't happen, because without Frieza, Broly's not going to be coming to Earth. Maybe there's some scraps of the Frieza Force out there that might even find Broly eventually, but without Frieza there to lead them, the Frieza Force, if it even still exists, probably isn't up to much. And even if it did happen, Broly would be defeated pretty easily, much more easily than before. Next we could head into the Moro arc. and it would start as normal. All the Goku and Vegeta stuff happens, and nothing else on Earth changes, up until the point when 7-3 arrives on Earth. He faces Piccolo, and of course, once he steals Piccolo's powers, he gets a lot stronger too. The two of them are dead even. Even with Piccolo in his orange form, it's a little too much, and this is concerning. Orange Piccolo is incredibly powerful, giving that power to 7-3 is dangerous. But luckily, once he hears that something bad's going on, of course Gamma 1 shows up to help save the day once more. Piccolo's glad to see Gamma 1 has his back, and Gamma 1 vows to protect Earth just as usual. 7-3 is intrigued to see Gamma 1. Of course, he feels he's a far superior android. But he underestimates Gamma 1's power, as well as Piccolo's. The two of them fight decently well together, having some pretty good synergy. With the amount of time Gamma 1's been around, even if he personally might not grow from the training, he loves training with Gohan and Piccolo from time to time. After all, it does help protect Earth because it makes them stronger, and helps him learn more about these people that he views as heroes, especially Gohan, who is a legitimate superhero. The two completely overwhelm 7-3, and 7-3 even tries to steal Gamma 1's power, and in a rare moment, Gamma 1 cracks a smile mid-battle. 7-3 can't steal his power, he's purely mechanical. Slowly, 7-3 starts losing ground, and 7-3 does try to escape, but in the moment that he tries to, a special beam cannon is launched from far away, hitting him head-on, destroying the android. Piccolo and Gamma 1 look behind them, seeing that Gohan has just arrived on the battlefield. He apologizes for being a little bit late, but they've done it. They defeated 7-3, and the other escaped prisoners are captured by Jocko. Moro is angered about this, but still, he's gonna wait a bit. He feels that he might have a better meal if he lets these people grow stronger, so they still get a few months to themselves. Goku and Vegeta are out in space doing their normal training, and Moro's crew eventually does arrive on Earth. And unfortunately for that crew, Piccolo, Gohan, and Gamma 1 are there. Goten and Trunks wish they could have joined, but they're stuck watching 17's island. They really do want to help with this though. The Tournament of Power was a lot of fun, and even though they didn't make it too far into it, hey, they like that they're being involved in more serious battles, and have taken their training a lot more seriously as well. Moro's crew actually does have a decent shot against the humans, although they still have a tough time there, but that doesn't matter. Piccolo, Gohan, and Gamma 1 clean house, and they don't even need to use their full power. Piccolo goes into Ultimate and so does Gohan, but that's really it. And that's even overkill. Even Saganmo, the strongest of Moro's crew, he gets defeated by them too. Eventually, Moro himself has to put up a fight. And this is worrying for them because they know about him stealing energy. Within those 2 months, they received that info about him. So they're in a weird spot because they are pretty strong, but that strength will work against them with Moro. Gohan can't use his beast form, and Piccolo can't use his orange form, but Gamma 1 is happy. He looks to 17 and 18 too. He needs them to help him. Moro can't take energy from either of them. So, the three of them all team up in order to hold off Moro until Goku and Vegeta get here. And Moro's actually amazed. They're putting up a very good fight. With the three of them together, especially with the great power of Gamma 1, he's having a tough time, and he can't steal energy from them either. But if he splits them up, he'll be able to defeat them relatively easily. And, even better, if he steals power from some other people like Gohan and Piccolo, that'll be more than enough. But once more, Gamma 1 is ready to put his life on the line. Ever since his brother's sacrifice, that's stuck with him. And whenever there's a battle like this, he's ready to give up his life as well. That's what it means to be a superhero for him. Thankfully, he doesn't need to do that. At some point, Goku does arrive, ready to take on Moro himself. He shows off Ultra Instinct Omen, and that fight happens relatively normally, leading up to Vegeta's arrival on Earth as well. And this is where things begin changing even more. Once Vegeta uses Force Spirit Fission, Moro loses all of his power, and Moro can't go to 7-3. 7-3 is dead. That's not a contingency plan for him anymore because there's no 7-3. And even though Moro tries to escape, he's not quick enough anymore. Vegeta's able to outpace him, and Moro frantically looks around, trying to find someone's power to steal. But now, the gap in power is so much. He would have to steal power from someone like Piccolo, Gohan, or Goku, but he can't. They're able to defend themselves because Moro has lost so much power, and Moro is backed into a corner. He has no choice. He has to try and absorb energy from Earth itself. Maybe if he just destroys this planet and takes all the energy, that'll be enough. But Vegeta's not gonna let that happen. He learned the hard way from Frieza. There's no hesitation here. Moro tries to take Earth's energy, but before he does, Vegeta multiplies himself using spirit control. Dozens of Vegetas all attack Moro at once, each in blue evolution. They all pummel Moro, leaving him completely stunned. And then, every Vegeta clone sticks his arms out, charging an attack. All the Vegetas coalesce together, back into the main Vegeta, charging a Gamma Burst Flash. Although, there is one other Vegeta clone left. Moro opens his mouth, ready to absorb this blast. This will be good enough. But that other Vegeta clone jumps in, grabbing Moro's mouth and holding it shut. The main Vegeta launches the Gamma Burst Flash, completely incinerating Moro and that clone of him. And thus, Moro is defeated, with Vegeta claiming victory thanks to his new techniques. A very different turn of events for the arc, especially with the ending. Following the Moro arc, what's going to happen next? Well, of course, Goku didn't tap into the complete Ultra Instinct again, due to how that arc turned out. But soon after, he might thanks to some training. And naturally, the Granolah arc should follow this, but it might be avoided. Granola's never going to go to Earth to get 7-3, and Frieza's dead, so Granolah might just live his life as a mercenary for the Heaters. The Heaters aren't going to have to mess with Frieza at all because he's not there. And that leaves Granolah kinda complacent. A bad situation for him, but it means that arc is completely left out. Although it does mean the Heaters are still a concern out there, but no one knows of them for now. And I think with all that, it pretty much wraps up the story because obviously Super Hero would be next, but the whole point of this is that it happened early. And things actually turned out pretty well, at least for our main cast. So, this is where we'll end off. What'd you guys think about this story? And you know the drill, if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe now, just so you don't miss any future videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.